What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. The weekend starts here. I hope that you're all well. There's loads for us to go through. Obviously, as you know, I took last night off. Ireland didn't get through, unfortunately. Went to penalties. It is what it is. Congratulations to Scotland. Congratulations to Northern Ireland, who both went through on penalties last night. I wish them the best in their playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, the Liverpool news just doesn't stop. Even during the international break, when we think that we've got things under control, nope, the news just keeps on coming, and I have got a whole load of stuff to go through tonight. We're going to be talking about Bobby Firmino. We're going to have an open conversation around his situation at the moment with Liverpool. We'll look back over his previous score tallies and stuff like that as well. We're going to have a chat around Upamecano a little bit later on in the stream as well. Lots and lots of interesting stuff to get through. Firstly, how are we all in the chat? I hope that you're well. I can see it's starting to fill up bit by bit. So people often wonder why I do rather long intros onto the streams. It's to give people a chance to get into the chat, because when we go live, people get their notification, we come on, and because we're so interactive, a lot of the time I just end up repeating stuff, so I tend to try and let people get into the chat. How are we? Did you guys see earlier on, actually, funny story? I mean, you've seen the 7-2 clips, that went viral and all the other bits and pieces, but the highlight for me came when we actually got an appearance with True Geordie and Lawrence, talking about that 7-2 clip as well. When Connor first told me that they used the clip and they were speaking about it, I was thinking, oh my god, I'm going to get absolutely slaughtered here by two people that I like and respect in the game. But I have to say, they were very kind to me. They didn't rip me to shreds like they could have. So, fair play to True Geordie and Lawrence on that one. Lovely to make an appearance on there. Hopefully someday I'll get onto the kickoff in person. But look, if you haven't seen it, go over and watch True Geordie's latest, the reaction to the 7-2 beating that we got by Villa. And yours truly makes a little appearance on there as well, which is fun. How are we all, folks? Loads to get through. Right, I'm going to get straight into it tonight because I think we've waited long enough for people to fill up into the chat. Wijnaldum has been speaking about the additions to the Liverpool squad. I'm talking about Thiago, I'm talking about Diogo Jota and Costa Simicas. And this is what he's had to say in the additions. Brilliant, class players. They're already showed at the previous clubs that they're really good, and we're really happy to have them here because they make the squad better. With them, we've a bigger squad. I think you need that during a season. But the most important thing is that they're quality players, and that makes the team even better than they were before. I'm already happy with the signings. They're also good personalities, good people. They totally fit into the team that we have. Love that style of language there from Genie. All positive. Still, we. Love when people use we when they talk about Liverpool. It just makes that family connection a little bit closer. And look, we all hope that Gini Wijnaldum signs a new contract, but that's for another day. We hope the club sit down with his representatives and get that one sorted out. But good to hear that Gini's happy with the signings that the club have made. I know we're all very happy with them as well. And we're counting down to the Merseyside derby because we want to put right that Aston Villa result, folks, don't we? Right, dipping into the chat. Corey said, hello, Craig. Myro said, how's your day? It's been good, mate. It's always good when I get to come on here and have a chat with you guys, particularly when it's a bit of a quieter stream. It gives us a chance to get through more comments and stuff like that as well, and that happens during the international break. Grujic was a slight snake, said good morning Britain. Yeah, he did kind of put Adrian to the sword a bit unnecessarily. I mean, very surprised to hear those comments attributed to Marco Grujic. If you haven't heard him, he basically said something along the lines of Adrian's Liverpool career is over now, or something to that effect. I don't have the exact words open in front of me. What I will talk about the Sky and BT stuff as well, because I know that has a lot of people rightly fuming, and I'm one of those people, so I'll have my say on that as well later on. Dinesh, first super chat of the night, thank you sir, said Sky and BT Sports, £15 to watch a Premier League game, is taking the piss out of fans. I was going to go into transfer talk, but you've brought that up, Dinesh, so look, let's go through it. Let's have a look at the situation with Sky and BT Sport, and if you guys have said, if you haven't heard this, it's going to make your blood boil, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. So, I've got a statement here from them as well. My mouse just isn't working at the minute, bear with me. Right, here we go. So, Sky and BT Sport have confirmed that they will be charging £14.95 and I believe €16.95 for people who pay in euro to stream Premier League games that are not being televised. Excuse me, this will cover the 3pm kickoffs and will come into effect next weekend. Here's a statement that the Premier League have released about this, and then of course we'll have a little chat about it amongst ourselves. The Premier League today confirm all fixtures until the end of October will continue to be made available to fans to watch live in the UK. Under these new arrangements, the current live match selections will remain in place and will be broadcast as normal. In addition, the 5 matches per round not already selected will be made available to supporters on a pay pay-per-view basis, accessed via BT Sport and Sky Box Office platforms. Clubs today agree this interim solution to enable all fans to continue to watch the streams live. The Premier League has worked closely with Sky Sports and BT Sport to provide this arrangement and is grateful for the support. The agreement will be regularly reviewed in consultation with clubs and in line with any decision made by the government regarding the return of spectators to stadiums. Football is not the same without supporters at matches. The Premier League and our clubs remain committed to the safe return of all fans as soon as possible. Any updated broadcast list of matches will be announced later today. Right, so that's that part out of the way. Now we can get down to the crux of it. It is robbery, ladies and gentlemen. They are putting fans who are already stretched, people who can already barely afford the astronomical fees that Sky and BT charge. And I know this because I'm a Sky customer myself, and I think my bill is around about 160, 170 euro a month before any add-ons. And that's a lot of money. And then, as you said, you've got BT, you've got other platforms that some people pay for as well, Amazon Prime and the likes. And at a time when, they're right, fans can't get into stadiums and football clubs are struggling, and we heard about football clubs having to give back money to the television companies via a rebate and stuff like that. This feels like an absolute kick in the balls to any football fan up and down the UK and possibly Ireland. I'm not sure how far this deal stretches, by the way. People who were already hurting, having to dig deep into their pockets now to pay an additional £15 to watch a game of football. Yes, you heard me right, folks. £15 to watch a game of football that is not already on a platform. This is a piss take of the highest order, and I'm glad to see the reaction on social media. And you know what? These Sky and BT and Premier League and all moan about fans that go off and get dodgy streams of games and stuff like that. Well, this is why. Because the platforms are already very expensive and already keep some people away from being able to watch football. Hence the reason a lot of people go to the pub with their mates, have a pint and watch the games, because it's more cost effective for them. But it's very expensive for the pubs. But for this to take place right now, we're in the midst of a global pandemic. People are out of work. People are scraping around trying to get a few bob together. People are making sure that the kids are safe. People have so many worries, and one of the releases that we have is football. Football is one of the releases that calms people down, that brings people joy, that brings us all together, that distracts us for a little while, that 90 minutes when the game is on. And who came up with this idea? Who thought, you know what? Let's see how far we can take the piss. Let's see how much we can hurt genuine football fans now by making them shell out £15 if the game isn't being shown on the platform that they're already paying a whole lot of money for. It is completely unacceptable. I'm delighted to see that many journalists and many people are rightly kicking up a fuss about this. It is a piss take of the highest order. What's wrong with $4.95? If you want to be greedy, why not just go with a fiver or something like that? £15 to watch a game of football is nothing short of daylight robbery. And you know what? I'm not going to pay it. I just refuse, point blank. Liverpool against Sheffield United is going to be one of those games later on this month that's on it. And I'm not paying for it. Damn right I'm not paying for it. I already shell out 170 quid a month. Why the hell would I? And I'm sure that there are many people around the world right now. There's a reason why IPTV is trending right now on Twitter. What do you think that might be? Because people have finally had enough of the robbing bastards that have been pricing people out of football for long enough. It's not bad enough that the cost of jerseys are astronomical. It's not bad enough that there's 3 jerseys, training kits and all that stuff that parents and families have to try and scrape together money for. Now at a time when people are already on their knees, what do? They stick another kick straight into the nuts of people just to let them know that we want to rinse you of another few quid. And they wonder why people are turning away from Premier League football at times. It's an absolute joke. It is a joke of the highest order. I know that I think this has been happening for football league clubs for a little bit longer, and I absolutely agree with people who are pissed off about that as well. But come on, enough is enough, you greedy bastards. Stop asking people. I can't even comprehend what type of stupidity came up with this, folks. That's my take on it. I'm sorry that the rant went on a little bit long, but I'm in a position where I could probably afford to cover the cost of this £15 for the game if I wanted to. But why the hell should I have to? I'm already paying a whole lot of money. You're already paying a whole lot of money. But yet they want you to dig deeper into your pockets. They want another £15 out of you. They want their blood money. It's not enough for them. Greedy bastards, each and every one, and they should hang their heads in shame. And I include Liverpool Football Club in this, because Liverpool Football Club were a part of the vote that voted this in. I think Leicester City were one of, if not maybe the only club who voted against this. Hang your heads in shame. All this football without fans is nothing. Bollocks is exactly that. Bollocks. Right, folks, let's have a look at what you guys have to say. Disgusting now I know why people illegally stream, said Harry Murphy. Value for money indeed, would be a shame. Paying 15 quid for a 0-0 game. Exactly, it's just ridiculous, man. And this is on top of people already having their monthly subscriptions that I've spoken about. I love IPTV, said Liverpool, you'll never walk alone. Look at this gobshite. Stop crying, lad. Might give Ollie Watkins a call. Here's the difference, princess. I'm living rent-free in your head while you're on my stream commenting about a very good victory for Villa and a fantastic hat-trick, which I in no way begrudge Ollie Watkins. But the best that you can come up with, you sad little clown, is to come on here and try and have a pop at me over the result. I've forgotten about the result, mate. It's gone. It's only you little clowns that, like, obsess shit. Get over it. It's done. I'm guessing you're a United fan. United are still going to be dog shit, mate, so don't worry about it. It's all good. Put it behind you. Go to bed, knock one out, ask your ma to tuck you in or whatever it is that you little clowns do at night. And just let the big boys continue to talk. The adults are talking now, children. It's time to keep quiet. Careful, Craig, you might go viral again. Yeah, see, that's the funny thing. Like, people coming on and saying to you, 7272. Great, you're doing my work for me. Thank you for that promotion. Really appreciate it. Craig, Barnes or Mane. How does that fit into what we're talking about right now, lad? Come on. With our ownership, are you shocked the way we voted? I'm not going to have a dig at our owners, but this can definitely go into the category of bad decisions, for me, anyway. I don't even give a shit if the money's going back to the club, to be honest with you. It's just ridiculous. It's just asking fans to put their hand in their pockets yet again. And look, it's not Liverpool Football Club here only. The whole Premier League is to hang their head in shame over this one, except maybe Leicester City, who, as I said, I believe voted no to this. Newman said, disappointing in Liverpool voting the £15, only Leicester reportedly voted against. Do you see why our fan base is trash? No, I don't, mate. How again does this correlate? Should we not be upset about having to go and pay another 15 quid for a game of football? But I'm absolutely in agreement with everybody who's up in arms over this. And it's coming from somebody who can probably cover the cost of it. I still don't care, because I know there are people out there under much more strain and stress than I am personally at this moment in time, and that's who I feel for in these scenarios. Is it sad that they still go on about it? The 7-2, ridiculous, mate. They're going to dine off this for a while, but look, I couldn't give a shite. It's sad that they still go on about it. Mbappe or Sancho in 2021. Jadon can start. I don't know what all this has to do with the £15 games, but anyway, we move on. Let's have a little chat, ladies and gentlemen, around the transfer market, because you're probably wondering about the title of the stream. I want to have a little chat around Upamecano. I want to have a chat around Jadon Sancho and a few other bits and pieces as well. So let's start off with Jack Butland, shall we? So I've done a bit of research on this one. I've been looking around trying to find as many articles as I can, reaching out to anybody that might have some info on this one. So Stoke look as if they'd be open to the possibility of allowing Jack Butland to join Liverpool on loan before the domestic window closes, which is next Friday for people that aren't aware. Football Insider also report that Liverpool are looking into the possibility of bringing Butland in to provide cover while Alisson is out. The report also says that one of the reasons Stoke are open to the idea is because it would move another high earner off their wage bill. And you know what? I genuinely hadn't thought about that. I hadn't thought about the perspective that Jack Butland could still be on Premier League wages there at Stoke City, and they might want to move him on to help their cash flow at the time being. Now, I've said this before, don't take this as something that's absolutely going to happen. It's just a conversation topic. It's just something that is possible. Because let's be frank, we're all worried about going into the Merseyside derby with Adrian in goal. Personally, I would rather give Kylian Kelleher a run. I don't see what it is we have to lose. Kylian Kelleher should be probably here for the long term, whereas Adrian's probably going to be moving on at the end of the season. We've got in young Pitaluga as well, but it's an awful lot to ask him to come in straight away at 17 years of age and drop him into the Merseyside derby. So the options are, we go with Adrian, we give Kelleher a run out, Or there we look to the Championship to make use of this extended window. And I'm not saying Jack Butland is the solution. I'm not saying Jack Butland is even 10 times better than Adrian. But what I am saying is Jack Butland hasn't made the errors that Adrian has made for Liverpool. Jack Butland hasn't made the defence as nervous as Adrian seems to. I'm going to pull you back again to the expression on Virgil van Dijk's face, ladies and gentlemen, when Adrian made that howler 4 minutes into the game against Villa. I don't know what the answer is to this, but whatever happens, we are going to be nervous for the next 4 weeks or so, maybe even a little bit longer until Alisson is back. So I want to know what you guys think the answer to this is. Do we stick with Adrian and back him? Do we give Wijnaldum a chance? Or do we go and dip into that market and maybe get somebody like Jack Butland in on a short-term loan until January, something like that perhaps? Big Butland said Schitzel. Butland is worth a shot, said Yashil. Recall Karius, his career's over at Liverpool. And here's why I'm saying that. I'm not saying that because I want to be harsh on Karius. I mean, I've got no real feeling towards Karius whatsoever. But just like Simon Mignolet before him, there just comes a time where there's no road to redemption. Whether it be with the fans, whether it be with the other players. Every time the ball used to go back to Simon Mignolet before he moved on, when he was playing, you could almost hear the intake of breath around Anfield. People willed him and wanted him to do well, but there was always that nervousness that just wouldn't go away, even if he put in a good run of performances. And I worry that that could be the case with Adrian. That maybe even if he does come in and put in a good performance or two, there will still be that indecisiveness between the fans watching, the players. Will they really trust him to go back with a ball that they'd normally put back to Alisson without giving a second thought? I don't know. I can't speak for Van Dijk. I can't speak for Trent and Robbo and the rest of the back four, whether it be Joe Gomez or Fabinho. Demo, says Kelleher or Butland. My take on this is just give Kelleher a chance. Well, why have him at the club as the third choice goalkeeper if he's never going to get an opportunity? Could he do any worse than Adrian? What's the worst thing that can happen with Quivi Kelleher? He makes a mistake? Okay, that'll be his first mistake against Adrian's, 5th, 6th, 7th. And I want Adrian to do well, I really do. But I'm trying to be honest here. There's a pivotal point now, coming up against Everton after dropping those 3 points the way we did against Villa. This is a big game. Elusive Glue, thank you for the super chat, mate. Said I wouldn't pay £15 extra for matches, but I would give 70% to Anfield Agenda. This could pay for a game, but I know Craig and Connor will use the funds to upgrade content equipment. Yes, that is what we do, mate, to be fair. We do reinvest. I mean, Connor got himself a new microphone recently, a new boom arm, a couple of new lights as well for his end of things. And that's all possible because of your kindness, mate, for stuff like this. So thank you so much for the super chat. But it's almost a matter of principle with the £15 thing, isn't it? It's not like some people will have the money but just refuse to pay it, and I can absolutely understand why, and I support their decision not to pay it. It's just greed from the Premier League, to be honest with you, and the club should hang their heads in shame. Right, ladies and gentlemen, a few more comments before we move on to the Upamecano situation. Get Jack Butland in, said Hassan. Who's better, Adrian or Karius? Again, it doesn't... I would probably suggest Karius, maybe, but again, it doesn't matter at this point. The option is Adrian Kelleher or go to the Championship to get somebody else. We did win all our games last year, our league games with Alisson, yes. Fair play. The mistakes that he made didn't cost us points then, but there were still mistakes in those games. That's the point I'm trying to get to. But you're right in what you're saying. When the transfer window opens again, Gazzaniga will be a brilliant choice as a second keeper. He's not good enough. Paulo Gazzaniga is not good enough to come in and realistically challenge Alisson Becker. I could understand the shouts from while the Premier League transfer window was still open, and perhaps we could have went and done something there, but quite frankly he's not good enough. And why would Spurs sell to a rival? That's another thing I would say. There are goalkeepers out there that we could go and get. We spoke about it before. The likes of Erga Kikir and stuff. For me, I'd love to see the club go out and get an experienced hand. Again, in the next window, somebody like Handanovic, somebody like that, to come in and just provide a bit of pressure for Alisson. Is Butler much better than Adrian? What about Ben Foster? Foster's another option, of course, at Watford. The reason I think most people are going with the Butland option is I think Stoke would probably be more willing to let him go. And the Foster thing, it's another shout worth looking into, of course. Watford, we can go and do business there as well. We touched on the whole Ismaila Sarr thing. If a Premier League club wanted to go out and pay that money now for him, they could still do business at Watford up until next Friday with that one as well. I'm just going to lower down my microphone volume a smidgen here, folks. It just seems like it's a tad bit high to me, and I don't want all your eardrums bursting if I start shouting again. I think Origi should start more. Said Liverpool, you never walk alone. I don't. I think every time he gets the opportunity, he looks a little bit disinterested lately and not up to it. I would much rather we give Minamino or Diogo Jota an opportunity. My opinion, Ben Foster's a better option than Butland. Foster's still a great keeper. Is that Foster or Forster? Because we're going with different people here. Are we talking about Fraser Forster, Ben Foster? Who are you going with here? Because you're writing Forster. And if it's Fraser Forster, I don't want him near Liverpool. I have a little gripe against him after you remember he stood on the penalty spot when Milner was taking that penalty against Southampton. I've never forgotten that one. And yes, I am that petty. Should have got Romero. Again, Calvin, ask yourself this, mate. Can you see the phone call where we pick up the phone? Hello, is that United? Just Michael Edwards here. Any chance of selling us one of your goalkeepers? What do you think the answer is going to be? When's the last time you remember a player going from Manchester United to Liverpool or vice versa in recent memory? It won't happen, mate. Sergio Romero, very good keeper. There was links with him to the MLS as well. I'm not sure if there's anything to that still, but they're not going to sell him to us, mate. Would you consider David Ray from Brentford? He's quite a good passer, distributor. For me, this is only going to be a short-term thing. So I'm sure that there are some very good goalkeepers in the Championship that could do a job. But this is realistically only to January as far as I'm concerned if Liverpool were to go in and do business. I'm not expecting them to bring somebody in that's going to be a long-term challenger to Alisson until the next window or maybe January. When we're talking about going into the Championship right now, for me it's a short-term solution until we get Alisson back. Hex Boom said Ben Foster is good. I'd have him. I'd take Foster or Butland at this moment in time over Adrian. Hand on heart. And I don't want to be saying that. I want to be back in Adrian because you guys know I'm somebody who likes to take positives from any situation and likes to put positivity out there. But this makes me very, very nervous, folks. What else we got? Tim Krul is a great shout to somebody else. Again, he's alright. He would probably do. Experience in the Premier League, obviously, from his time here with Newcastle and whatnot. So there are options there. Wherever we go here, whether we go with Foster, whether you're talking about Krul, whether you're talking about Jack Butland, there are options there. I think that's one thing that we can agree on. Now, what remains to be seen is if the club think that there's any need or if they think it will completely undermine Adrian and it's not worth doing. And maybe even undermine Kelleher as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one, folks. But I think we're all honest in saying we're a little bit nervous around the goalkeeper situation till Ali is back. Do you think Liverpool should have brought in Sarr? If it was a straight shout between Ismaila Sarr, who I would have had no problem with a signing, by the way, very good young footballer, still a bit raw, but you know, a lot of players with pace and power at that age they still need that little bit of finessing. I have to admit, Diogo Jota is to me a perfect signing. As soon as I heard the name and had no clue about it beforehand, no interest, nobody in the papers talking about it, it just came out of nowhere. I have to say, I thought it was a brilliant piece of business by the football club, the way the deal was structured, and the player himself, you can easily just think, oh yeah, he can play here, here or here. So it makes absolute sense. So I think we made the right move going for Jota, if I'm being honest. But again, Sarr has a very high ceiling and could turn out to be an excellent footballer. But as Melissa already said, when Liverpool broached the subject of signing Sarr from Watford, they were told that they wanted X amount, and I think they wanted a big chunk of it, if not all of it, up front, and we weren't in a position to do that. So yeah, there you go. Right, let's go on and talk about Upamecano, ladies and gentlemen. I don't go out on a limb much here on the channel. I usually try and sit on the fence a little bit. Football's a fast moving business and there's so many variables that things can change really, really quickly. I spoke about Upamecano and his now lower 40 million release clause, which comes into effect next summer. I also spoke about the fact that Liverpool and Manchester United could well be going head to head. That came via a report in Germany. I think it might have come out Bild, if my memory is correct. I'll go a little bit further tonight and I'll say that we are absolutely interested in Upamecano. If he continues his good form throughout this season, the club will very likely follow up on that interest next summer. He's 21 years of age, Upamecano. He's already an international, I believe. He's gaining great experience there with Leipzig. He ticks all the boxes to come in and play in the Jurgen Klopp system. You just hope that he continues that progression through this season. And I hope that Liverpool and Michael Edwards and our recruitment team are already in his ear because we know what the price will be. It will be that 40 million quid release clause that kicks in. Now, he could have left Leipzig on a free, but they negotiated a new deal, and part of that negotiation included this release clause, which kicks in next summer. So people know what he's available for. United have been strongly linked to him. They want somebody to come in and partner Harry Maguire. We want somebody perhaps to come in and provide a little bit of pressure for Joe Gomez, Joel Matip, and of course the youngsters that are coming through, Billy Cometio, Reece Williams, Sepp van den Berg as well. Maybe take a little bit of pressure off them and allow them some more time to develop until Klopp feels that they're ready to come in regularly and be in and around the first team on a match day. But to me, Upamecano, yes please, I will have him in a heartbeat. I'm so happy to have heard some positive stuff when I put a few feelers out to try and gauge if there is genuine interest here. We are interested in Upamecano, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, as I said, football does move quickly. Don't take this as me saying Upamecano will be a Liverpool player next year, because anything can happen in football right up to the last minute. But you can definitely hang your hat on the fact that we're looking at this player, and if he has a good season this season, we could be in there next summer fighting with United. And look, I hope that we're still in a good place next summer. I hope that we're still a more attractive proposition than Manchester United, and I really would like this lad to come in and play in the centre of our defence, or at least to be an option to Jurgen Klopp to come in and play in the centre of that Liverpool defence. There's so many boxes that are ticked here. His style of play, he can carry the ball forward, he can spot a pass. Again, he's good at playing on a high line if needs be. The Ralf Rangnick Leipzig Red Bull way is very similar to the Liverpool Jurgen Klopp way. So many things, and there's so many great articles written as well by people who have really dug down into the details and the statistics around why he would fit in at Liverpool. I'm not educated enough to start pulling out statistics and stuff like that. It's not my bag. I've never been somebody that talks about stuff in that way. I usually work off emotion and my eye, to be honest. I mean, somebody that's watched the game for over 30 years, I like to think that I know a little bit about the sport. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this one, ladies and gentlemen? Would you be happy for Liverpool to go out and get Upamecano? €40 million or £40 million seems to be a snip for somebody of that quality, if I'm being frank with you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, of course. I want to know what you guys think in the live chat. I was saying all summer, when you look back at the videos, people were talking about the centre-back situation, and is it right to go with Firmino as the fourth choice throughout the season? Is it a gamble worth taking? And many times we and other people have said, if it means long-term we could go and get somebody like Upamecano, then it would be worth the risk. Maybe this is why we're taking the risk. And it is a calculated risk, and I think the risk is to do with the amount of midfielders that Liverpool currently have, central midfielders I should say. That means that we could probably sacrifice Firmino at a pinch to come and play centre-back alongside Big Verd. So that's my take on it anyway, folks. Love to know what you guys think. Why is Upamecano's release clause so cheap? Because he could have left the club pretty much on a free transfer, mate. His transfer was running, his contract was running down, and to renew it, that was kind of part of the agreement that was reached with his agent. Yes, he'll stay on, but he wants a lower release clause, so I suppose it secures some value for them. They get another season out of Upamecano, and they'll still recoup a chunk of money at the end of it. So that's why it's so low. What else we got? We've got one title off United, but we've the double European Cups. United have never dominated Europe, so obviously 6 Champions Leagues. You guys will get Deo Upamecano. I think that we will. Leon as well. Leon, obviously, our Manchester United supporting friend. Lovely to see you win, Leon. It's been a while, I think, mate. Upamecano, if he signs, would it be for Matip, or would it be over for Matip, I should say, is a good question from Ryan Nugent. For me, the only problem I've ever had with Joel Matip is not, is he good enough? Because when he plays, he very rarely lets us down. It's just about the little niggles and knocks that he seems to get. He did get a good run of games together now last season when Joe Gomez was out, but my memory could be wrong on this, but my perception of Joel Matip, is that he just picks up too many little knocks and niggles to be ever really able to form a partnership with like Virgil van Dijk at the heart of that Liverpool defence. So again, I'm working off instinct and gut here. I don't have the actual numbers in front of me, but my feeling from his time at Liverpool has been that he's just picked up a few too many knocks and can't put a real run of games together, outside of the one that he did when he covered for Joe Gomez last season. Upamecano is a beast at centre-back, said Tenzin. What are the chances we make a move in the domestic window, said Face in Space. It'll be just a goalkeeper thing, mate. I can't really see anything else. And yes, I know Sarr is there, and I'm really surprised that no Premier League club has taken a punt on Ismaila Sarr in this window. I really am. Even if the price is as high as it is from Watford, I still am surprised that nobody's gone in there to try and get that done. Now, there are more players that we could talk about. We could talk about the likes of Todd Cantwell as well at Norwich, albeit Liverpool don't really seem to have a great relationship with Norwich after the Jamal Lewis incident. Newman said Nagelsmann, the Leipzig coach, said that next season is when Upamecano will likely leave. He will. Somebody will trigger that release clause, buddy. 40 million, it seems a snip, to be fair. Matip is massively injury prone. He's a good choice for centre backs at Hex Boom. We need Upamecano in Liverpool. What else we got? Ajax will score 10 goals with Adrian in goal. No, they won't, mate. Even as pessimistic as I've been about the Adrian situation, he won't concede 10. Ajax aren't as strong as they were in previous seasons as well. Hi Craig, it's the Mad Darlington fan back. Hope you're well. I've lost the job I was supposed to start on Monday due to the pandemic. Jesus, man, I'm sorry. You can't get a break at the minute, buddy. We're here supporting you as always, Ian. We wish you nothing but the best, mate. It's lovely to have you in the chat as always, and I'm sorry to hear that the job didn't work out, buddy. But like I said to you the last time, sometimes things don't happen or happen for a reason, and I'm somebody that believes that things do happen for a reason. So hopefully there's a bigger and better job out there around the corner for you, mate. But as always, we're thinking of you here and lots of love. Craig, would you have played Karius over Adrian if he didn't go on loan? No. I genuinely wouldn't. I just think, like I said about Mignolet before him, there was just no way back. And I hold no ill feeling towards Karius whatsoever, because what happened that night, man, I can't even imagine how the poor lad must have felt. I mean, he came out, he apologised, you could see he was heartbroken, but I just think it just left too much scarring there, too much muscle memory if you want. And I wish him the best wherever he goes, but nah, I wouldn't have. Should Firmino be dropped? We're going to touch on that a little bit later in the stream, mate. I have a whole section on Bobby Firmino that I want to go through. So, settle in because I have a lot to talk about. Joshua Muller, how are you, buddy? Welcome in. I missed you yesterday, said Yuma Parker. Thank you. Or Yumna Parker. Yeah, I took yesterday off. Obviously, Ireland were playing and I hadn't had a day off in ages. So I said, why not yesterday? And it didn't work out too well from an Irish point of view. But as I said, congratulations to Scotland and Northern Ireland who did progress on penalties. Andrew Joel said, hi mate, great content, much love from Liverpool. Thank you, buddy, really appreciate the support, lovely to have you in the chat. Do you think Kelleher is the heir to Alisson's throne in the next generation of Liverpool team? Now I'm going to be a bit biased about this, obviously. I'm Irish, Cuivine's Irish, I want him to do well. I'd love to have an Irish goalkeeper between the sticks. And it's also a bugbear of mine. I mean, it's very difficult for clubs like Liverpool or any top club to bring through a goalkeeper to the youth system and then to be able to give them that opportunity, because there's such pressure. One mistake, can change a game. 3 points like we've seen the season we lost the title to Manchester City the season before last. One game, that City game, the ball hitting the post for us and not going across the line versus their goal. Small margins. So it is difficult and there's a lot of pressure on managers. Ideally, yes, I'd love to see Cuivine Kelleher become Alisson's understudy or the person that comes and challenges him. But I think he may need a loan first just to get some experience at the highest levels, a regular run of games together. And look, as I said, I am biased about this. Him being Irish, me being Irish, I wish him nothing but the best and I hope that he does get that chance soon. Subs jumped up since the loss though, mate. Yeah, but I'd swap each and every one of those subscribes, mate, for subscribers to have won that game. I mean, first and foremost, I want Liverpool to get the result above anything else. I don't want this channel to grow off the back of Liverpool's shitty results or off fume or anything like that. I want it to grow because Liverpool fans want to come in and interact with the Liverpool fans and enjoy stuff together. So yeah, look, on one hand, it's good that the channel has got some new viewers to it, and I'm really appreciative for them, and I hope that they enjoy what we do. But at the same time, I'd swap it all, mate, for those 3 points back against Villa. Mo Dilbar said, give Kelleher a chance, better than that clown called Adrian. I don't want to call him a clown, man. That's vicious. He's our goalkeeper. just because I don't think he's up to the job, I'm not going to start going in 2-footed on him and start calling him names, mate. That's not the way we go about things as Liverpool fans. I think we're all right to have an open, honest conversation and critique somebody, but don't start calling one of our players a clown, mate. That's just... Mo, you're a regular with the channel, mate. That's not good form, buddy, if I'm being honest. Mick McKenna, hi from Offaly in Ireland. Lovely to have you in, Mick. Cunnis too. Who are we in for with regards to keepers? Well, technically nobody, Tommy. We're hoping that maybe we dip into the Championship and the likes of Butlin, Foster, and a few others that were mentioned potentially could be done before next Friday, but I've yet to really see anything in the media other than the little thing I touched on earlier on about Butlin and Inside Football to suggest that we could make that move. Harry Willock said, Craig, do you think Liverpool should still go for Daka? Yes, absolutely. I did say to you guys in the summer that the word coming out of Daka's camp was that he was going to stay at Salzburg until at least January. At least that's, I think, what came out via his representative, Freddie Canute, whose name you probably recognise from his time with Spurs and stuff. Daka, as we know now, is also a Liverpool fan, but I don't think that really makes too much difference with regards to transfers. But yes, I hope we go back in for him. Liverpool will of course keep an eye on Daka, see how the season progresses with Salzburg, but if he continues to play as he has and that good relationship that we have of course with Salzburg, Jesse Marsch plays a very similar style of football as well. We did bring in Takumi Minamino, so yes, I do think we will be keeping an eye on him. I do think we should be keeping an eye on him. Right, what else have we got, folks? I didn't want to see Adrian anywhere near the first team again, said Shanzo the man. Or I don't want to see Adrian anywhere near the first team again. Yeah, it is tough, man. I mean, the build up to the game. You know, I spent the whole time saying, let's get behind Adrian. Let's make sure he'll be grand, he'll be okay. I was putting out positive vibes, and then I keep going back to it. 4 minutes in, a ball played back to him, fairly straightforward. He uses his wrong foot to try and play it to Joe Gomez. Grealish nicks it off and passes it to Ollie Watkins, and you know the rest. And he doesn't even own up to the mistakes a lot of the time, is kind of what winds a lot of Liverpool fans up as well. It's tough, man. I'm not going to lie, I don't want them to be playing, but I'm not going to go as heavy on him as other Liverpool fans have. I won't start the name calling and stuff. That's not the way I go about things anyway. On the bright side, the Premier League returns in a week, said Elijah John 5. Yes, absolutely, mate. I'm counting down the day. 7 days to go until the Reds are in action. Well, I suppose 7 sleeps to go until the Reds are in action against Everton. Next Saturday, 12:30pm kickoff, which is not a great kickoff time. I hate those early Saturday kickoffs. But we will, of course, be covering it on the channel. Right, what else have we got? A little bit on Jadon Sancho, ladies and gentlemen. So it looks like Borussia Dortmund could be trying to tempt Jadon Sancho into staying by preparing a bumper new contract offer for him. We know he's a player that Klopp is interested in, so it's worth keeping an eye on the situation and seeing what happens. The only way I can see Sancho agreeing a new deal there with Borussia Dortmund is if a similar thing happens to the Upamecano situation we spoke about earlier on, that there's a pathway out put in there for Jadon Sancho, that there's a clause put in that says, look, if somebody comes in and pays X, whatever that might be, then maybe he'll agree to it. I don't know. Maybe I've read the situation all wrong and maybe he's loving life over in Dortmund. I don't think that's the case. I think he would like a return to the Premier League. United had the whole summer, nobody else going in for him. United had a free run of them and they shit the bed. Now I want to see Liverpool be in that conversation, and I think we will be in that conversation next summer. But again, it's a long time away and that remains to be seen. Do FIFA and UEFA not worry about players travelling around the world with what's going on, said Dinesh. Mate, I'm with you on this one. I think it's madness that we have 3 international windows, September, October, November, during a global pandemic. 3 in 3 months. Doesn't make any sense to me. Premier League clubs and other clubs around Europe work so hard to keep their players in this bubble to make sure that they are as safe as can be. Nothing is 100% safe. But then they're released from their clubs, and with all due respect, they're going on long distance flights, in and out of airports, and I'm sure that the international teams are doing as much as they can, but I have to say I agree with anybody who's nervous about this. It seems madness to me, it really does. I know that the fixtures have to be played, I get that, but I would rather it in one period, where like we did, there's something similar like what happened with, let's say, the Champions League and the Europa League playoffs. Just host it in one place over a condensed period of time and get the fixtures played. It's, yeah, I agree. it's worrying. And I hope to God that, you know, our players and other clubs' players all come back safe and well. I do think international football at the moment is careless. That Hex Boom. Calvin said, don't want Sancho. That means Mane or Salah will leave. Not necessarily, buddy. I mean, I know where we're going with this. You know, historically, when Liverpool have gone out and spent money on the likes of Virgil van Dijk and Alisson, it has been because we went out and sold somebody like Coutinho, or before that we had money when we sold Suarez and stuff. So I get where you're coming from. I just hope that won't be the case. I hope there's some other way that we can find a way to go out there and put in a bid for somebody like him. Or maybe we just give him a wide berth altogether and go for somebody like Patson Daka, who we spoke about earlier on. And again, that would be sound with me as well. It's a disgrace, said Captain Clun. Ollie must stay, said Elijah John 5. Ireland versus Wales tomorrow. What do you think? Honestly, I just hope everybody gets through the game safe and gets back to the clubs. I thought Ireland played very well actually in the game last night. I thought Hamsik was probably. I thought Slovakia overused Hamsik at times, and I thought Ireland should have won that game. But against Wales, it's friendly. I don't really care, if I'm being brutally honest about it. Good chance to blood through some players. Good chance for Stephen Kenny to instill, his style of football and his philosophy on the Irish team. International football finished when Big Jack retired, said Mr. Sowersby. What a man, what a man. We take a moment just to pay respects again to Big Jack Charlton. Absolutely love the man. Arsenal fans here, am I welcome? Of course you are, mate. All we ever ask is that people, you know, are respectful to others in the chat, but of course you're welcome in, mate. It's great to have you with us. Our front three is the best in the world. Absolutely is, pal. No disagreement from me whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you all a favour? For those that are in that haven't yet hit that subscribe button, please do drop a like on the video as well. We're on the march. We've passed 50k. Welcome to all the new people in. Please do hit that subscribe button. And of course, don't forget about our Flick Chat group as well. There's a link in the description to that one. But this week coming up is going to be the week where we launch the big giveaway. We promised you a giveaway when we hit 50k. I can now tell you guys what that giveaway will be, but I can't yet tell you how and when we're going to do it. So our biggest ever giveaway is going to involve the winner getting 3 prizes. The winner is going to get a £50 Amazon voucher. The winner is going to get their shirt of their choice from 3 Retro. And the winner is also going to get 4 Liverpool prints that we've purchased from our good friend Sean Leonard. And you will love these. They're absolutely quality. I've already shared them with the guys in our Discord group. I told you guys our members get a heads up on stuff, and I wasn't lying to you. The members have known about this giveaway before I came on here. The members know about the Paul Tompkins interview and lots of other stuff as well. So if you want to become a member of Anfield Agenda FC, click that join button. Membership's $4.99 a month. As with most other channels, members get use of all the custom emojis that we have. You get our logo beside your name. You get into that Discord group that I spoke about as well. And we really do give out some inner secrets of the channel on there. So again, if you want to become a member, you know what to do. There's a link in the description, or hit the join button. Right, anyway, let's keep going. Mo and Sadio will be 29 next summer. Got to be looking to the future. Sancho and Mbappe are both in their early 20s. We're not going to get Mbappe, mate. I think we can forget about that one. He looks Real Madrid bound by the looks of it. Sancho, possibility. Do you think Firmino carries on his form? Liverpool will sell him. I'm going to do a whole section on Bobby Firmino in about 5 minutes, pal. So just bear with me while we do that. Would you swap Salah for Sancho? No, I would not. Great content, Craig. I'll subscribe when I'm able to. Do you ever collab with Coppish, my other favourite Liverpool channel? Yeah, I've done stuff with Drifty and Callum and the guys at Coppish before. It's been a while actually since we have done something, but yeah, we've done some crossover stuff before, and I agree, they're a great bunch of lads. Can't wait to see what's for the 100k giveaway. Yeah, look, hopefully we get to do a 100k giveaway. Hopefully the channel ever reaches that point, which would be brilliant. But we've another giveaway coming up, and we've another giveaway after that coming up. So as I said, keep it dialed to Anfield Agenda. That 50k giveaway is going to be launched next week. I'm also filming that interview with Paul Tompkins next Thursday, so we're going to have that coming out soon enough on the channel as well. If you don't know who Paul Tompkins is, shame on you if you're a Liverpool fan. He is, in mine, the foremost Liverpool brain out there in the world. He's written a number of books on Liverpool Football Club. His latest book, Perched, is the one that we're going to be talking about in the interview. It's a story of Liverpool's season last year. It delves into refereeing, it delves into statistics, it goes into the whole stuff around VAR and why Liverpool aren't Liverpool like some people try to call us, and lots of other stuff as well. I'm really looking forward to that interview. I'm not going to lie, I've been working on that one for a year. Yes, folks, a year I've been working to get Mr. Paul Tompkins, and I'm so happy we're going to be doing that one next Thursday. So again, as I said, lots of stuff coming up. Right, let me just have a quick look through my notes to make sure I'm ready. Oh, Marco Grujic. Yes, Marco Grujic, who we touched on at the start of the stream, who, you know, had a little dig about Adrian. He's also been speaking about his move to Porto, and he spoke about his reasons for joining the club on a season-long loan. So this is what he had to say. He said, I wanted to be at a stable, ambitious club that plays in the Champions League, and Porto is just that. While I was waiting for the flight to Oslo with the national team in Copenhagen, all of the details with the Dragons were settled. Immediately after the break, there will be a derby at Sporting, and then temptations in the Champions League, Manchester City, Marseille and Olympiacos. I believe that I will fight for a place with coach Sergio Conceição and contribute to success. I'm convinced that this is the right choice, and the Portuguese club were in a hurry to register me for the Champions League, which they did in the end. I think it's a wonderful move for Marco Grujic to go out there and gain some experience at a very good club like Porto, playing in that Champions League group, as we said, with the likes of Manchester City, Marseille and Olympiacos in there. So I wish Grujic all the best, and again, it remains to be seen whether we'll see him back in the Liverpool shirt, but this is a good opportunity for Marco Grujic to go out there and shine and show what he can do at the very top level. So wish him best of luck with that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the big topic for me for the night, and that is Roberto Firmino. So before I go into this, I'm going to just read out a few more comments. Glad Shaqiri didn't have, I don't even want to say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. Porto in the Champions League, good experience, said Mo Dilbar. Grujic could get in a lot of trouble about Adrian. Yeah, Jamie, I agree. It was very unprofessional, those comments that were attributed to him about Adrian, and I was very shocked, to be honest with you. But at the same time, maybe he's expressing how the training ground feels and how the other players feel. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been in and around the Liverpool training ground to know what the feeling is like around the Adrian situation, but it was disappointing to hear those words attributed to Marco Grujic. Is Upamecano likely to happen, said Josh Boucher. As I touched on earlier on, buddy, I never like to completely hang my hat on something, but 40 million quid release clause, we will be in the conversation, we will be looking at him throughout the season, and I would be surprised if we weren't fighting for him, or if you didn't start to hear that Liverpool and the gaffer had been, you know, casting a cursory glance to Upamecano and maybe having a little word in his agency, or put it that way. But we'll monitor it as the season goes on, and hopefully he keeps up the level of performance that he has done, and there is no reason why we couldn't be there next season trying to trigger that release clause. Why not? Grujic is right though. Yeah, I mean, there could be that, yeah. I mean, maybe he said what we're all thinking, but at the same time, it's not very professional. Maybe it's a little bit refreshing that we hear footballers actually come out and, you know, speak their mind at times, but I certainly agree with people who think from a Liverpool perspective, they'll be looking at this and thinking it isn't very professional. Bobby has to be considered a Liverpool legend when he retires, said Ultra Instinct. Again, I'm going to go through Bobby Firmino now. I just wanted to get into the chat and see how everyone's feeling. What have we got? Weenie Boy said, I subscribed yesterday. I'd only not done so before because I thought it cost $4.99. Silly me. No, buddy, the $4.99 thing is to become a member of the channel. Sorry if that was confusing. Everybody can subscribe. It's absolutely free to hit the subscribe button. But if you want to become a member, which means you get the emojis and the logo beside your name and stuff, that's what's $4.99 a month. So apologies if that was ever confusing to anybody. But if you ever do have any questions like that, please fire them into the chat, and I promise you I'll do my best to get back to you on them. Right, Roberto Firmino, ladies and gentlemen. Roberto Firmino, as you guys know, is my favourite player at Liverpool Football Club. I've been banging the Roberto Firmino drum for a very, very long time. Rightly so, because he's a wonderful footballer. So normally when I come onto this show and talk about the club, players and the performances, it's my opinion that I share. And mostly an opinion based, as I said earlier on my 30 years of playing and watching the sport. This time I wanted to take my Firmino tinted glasses off because, as I said, I am biased towards Bobby. I love the guy. And try and look at the situation through some cold, hard facts. So now we all know that what Bobby does, and we know that some of Bobby's play can't be measured simply in goals. He brings a lot more to the team than that. He defends from the front for us. He presses. He opens up space for others with his clever runs and movement, and he does so much stuff that Jurgen Klopp relies on. But that being said, it does only form part of an overall viewpoint. So let's have a look at his goal return for the past few seasons and see how things have gone. So if we go back to the 2017-2018 season, Bobby Firmino scored a very impressive 27 goals from 54 appearances, and none of us can say that that wasn't an incredible return from a number 9, the most productive season of his career so far. So Bobby was flying. We were doing great in the Champions League. He was banging in goals for fun. There was never any questions around Bobby Firmino. We move on one season to 2018-2019, and unfortunately the slide seems to start coming in from the goal front. So we move on to that season. Bobby dropped down to 27 goals, from 27 goals, down to 16 goals in that season, even allowing for the fact that he made 6 fewer appearances from the season before. That's certainly quite a big drop off in goals. For me, I think Bobby Firmino should be chipping in somewhere between 15 and 20 goals a season. That's around where I would be happy with Bobby Firmino. I think the 27 was probably the peak of what we can expect from Bobby, but I think that season 18-19, 16 goals, it's there or thereabouts. It's on the lower side of what I would class as Bobby Firmino average. Now obviously last season, 2019-2020, we've seen the club end their 30-year wait for the title, and it was a disjointed season for all kinds of reasons. It was stop-start, while we didn't even know if the season was going to get to a conclusion. But it was, even allowing for the strangeness of that season, Bobby only managed to score 12 goals from 52 appearances, and that really long run of not scoring at home as well. So we've gone from 27 goals to 16 goals to 12 goals, and at what point does that lack of goals really come back to bite Bobby Firmino in the backside? Now, I've always said, and I will continue to say, that I don't like Roberto Firmino being compared to the Aubameyangs of this world, to the Harry Kanes of this world, because they're natural goal scorers. That's what they were born and bred to do. That's what they've done all their career. Bobby Firmino was a 9.5, if you want to. I don't like him being classed as a normal number 9. So that's why I said between 15 and 20 goals in all competitions for me is about par for Roberto Firmino. Last season's tally of 12, it isn't good enough. Let's be honest about it. It isn't good enough. Even allowing for the great work that he does, the pressing ability he has, the creativity, the making intelligent runs, allowing Mo Salah and Sadio to go in and score the goals that they do, we still have to be honest with ourselves here and say that there is a slight decline here in Bobby. And I was one that was critical of him against Aston Villa for wasting some chances in the first half. And it wasn't a great performance from Bobby whatsoever. So to do this segment, I promise you, is breaking my heart to come on here and talk in any way negatively about my favourite player at Liverpool Football Club. But I have to take off these Firmino tinted glasses to be able to have an open and frank conversation. Otherwise, what's the point of me coming on here and having this channel? I've always told you I'll give you my honest view on things. And I still think there's a road to redemption for Bobby, and I still think he's got a lot of credit in the bank, and rightly so. But I do want to see him starting to get on the goal scoring charts more regularly, and I'd like to see him get somewhere 17, 18 goals this season maybe. Obviously, Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane will chip in as well, Jadon, Minamino and the rest. But that's my take on the Roberto Firmino situation. And as I said, it was very difficult for me to be in any way critical of Bobby because I love him for so many reasons. I love his flamboyancy, I love his creativity. He can be frustrating at times. Yes, some of the flicks don't come off. Yes, he goes a little bit too elaborate. Sometimes he seems to have a bit of a brain fart and a simple little 5-yard pass and stuff doesn't come off occasionally. And it's difficult. I don't like criticising Bobby Firmino because I love the guy so much. But I want to know what you think. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. And again, it's a subject I don't want to go into too much because I love Firmino and I don't like spreading any negativity around their football club. But so many people have added me on social media and so many people have been asking me to talk about this because there are some people who, you know, aren't as much with the Bobby Firmino propaganda as I am. And it's only right that we listen to all sides of this conversation. So it's an open forum, folks. Give us your thoughts. John Conway, thank you for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate it. And I'm doing very well. Thank you, buddy. I hope you are as well. I think there's another super chat I need to get through as well from Rabadan before I move on. You featured on True Geordie today, Craig. Funny bit. I know. I've always wanted to get on the kickoff. I've always wanted to be sitting on there talking to Lawrence and True Geordie. And yeah, we did. When Connor sent me a message, Rabadan, to tell me that they'd use the clip of the 7-2 on the stream, I was so nervous, man. I was thinking, right, I've such admiration for True Jordy and Lawrence. I hope they don't rip me to shreds on this one. But I've got to say, I thought they handled it really well. I thought they were very kind. They could have gone in a lot worse on me, but it was a funny scenario, and it was nice to feature on there. And hopefully someday we'll get a little run on the kickoff. Get well soon to Ray Clements, said Dinesh as well. For those of you that don't know, Ray Clements is unwell. He's been battling an illness for a while now, and you know, if you're on social media, please do send your love and best wishes towards Ray Clements. It was lovely to see that mural that was painted as well at the end of a house in Liverpool recently as well. So lots of love and best wishes to Ray Clements, of course. Right, now for the Bobby Firmino conversation. Mr. Sowersby said, it's about the team, Craig. Yes, that's been one of my arguments, buddy, when I've defended Bobby Firmino. But as people have rightly said to me, that only lasts for so long. We need the forwards to be all chipping in with goals. And I agree, Bobby Firmino does a lot of stuff that you can't equate with goals or assists. Liverpool need Dele Alli. No, that ship has sailed, mate. We should have had Dele Alli at Liverpool, but that deal was made a mess of. Bobby will prove all the haters wrong this season, said Ultra Instinct. Now, the Firmino situation, it is an interesting one because opposition fans for a long time have underestimated Bobby Firmino. They haven't held him in the same esteem that us Liverpool fans have, maybe because they don't see as much of him as we do, and you know, that's fair. I mean, I probably wouldn't see as much of a lot of players around the Premier League that other fans of clubs might hold in high esteem. I might think that they're bang average until I start watching them a little bit more. Firmino's not even in the top 15 attackers in the Premier League, said Cybong92. Bobby is a link in the chain. He feeds Salah and Mane, said Michael Manning. Born Red has said Bobby's not a striker. He'll be a number 8. He'll run his ass off for 4 years. The guy needs resting. Now that is a good point as well. Bobby for a long time didn't really have anybody else that could do what Bobby does. But now we've got Diogo Jota in there who, you know, Pep Linders described correctly as a pressing machine. I love that phrase, pressing machine. And maybe now is a time where we'll see. We'll get to see Diogo Jota maybe come in and put a bit of pressure. Maybe give Bobby a rest. Maybe Takumi Minamino can come in and do likewise. So yeah, I also understand that point, and it is a fair one. What else have we got around Bobby Firmino? Firmino's more important than Mane. Mane's irreplaceable, but very little can replace Firmino, in my opinion. We got lucky with Minamino. No, we didn't get lucky. The club did the research and, you know, rightly went after Takumi Minamino. I mean, there's a funny story going around about after we played Salzburg, the players were talking about Takumi Minamino on the training ground, and a few of them even urged the manager to go out there and sign him, and little did they know that Michael Edwards and Jurgen Klopp had that one in the bag already, because they knew about that £7.25 million release clause. I think United, if the story goes correctly, were willing to pay more, I think 20 million or something, because they didn't know about that release clause that Liverpool did. Mr. Sowersby said, what I mean, Craig, is that we need to stop carrying players. I hear you, man. I get what you're saying. And if you want to go out there and win the Premier League and defend it, we can't afford any baggage. You're right. And some players probably do have a little bit more goodwill in the bank than others. For an example, there was a little bit of people were going in on Mohamed Salah a bit last season, saying that he hadn't quite hit the heights and that he was having some performances that weren't right and he was greedy, yada, yada, yada. Fast forward to this season, we see Mohamed Salah come back from pre-season looking absolutely on it, looking in prime physical condition, looking like he's hungry for goals. He's the only player to come out of that Villa game with any... I won't say respect, but with any that can hold his head up high after that performance. I mean, I thought Salah was great, took his 2 goals really well. And Mane, I'm sure, will have a little dip as well at some point. But this Firmino thing, as I've said there, when I looked into the numbers, to go from the numbers he put up in 17-18, there has been a gradual decline down from 27 goals to 16 goals and then down to 12 last season. How much... You know, how important are these lack of goals, or how unimportant are the lack of goals? How can it be measured? It's tough to say, but, you know, Jurgen Klopp loves Bobby Firmino, and our system, Bobby Firmino gets it probably better than most other players, but at the same time, he should be chipping in with a few more, and he can't keep missing some of the chances that he has been. But again, God, it kills me to say this. I'm hating myself coming on here to talk about this, because I love Bobby Firmino. Salah brings a lot more to the team than just goals. He provides space for the rest of the team whenever he doesn't score. Look, Salah takes so many men out of the game as well. Every time Mo picks up the ball out on that right hand side, you'll see 2 or 3 players on him straight away. So if Mo can release the ball then and we can move it, yes, you're right. There is space elsewhere in the field, particularly on the other side. If we can get it across for Robbo or somebody, we can generally get an overlap because so many people concentrate on Salah because he's a danger. What have we got? Somebody else said Salah deserves the Ballon d'Or. Wasn't Bobby there before Klopp came in? Yes, there is. He was. There's a theory to this. Yes, he technically came in when Brendan Rodgers was at Liverpool, but there's a theory in place, and I don't know if it's true or not, that he was almost a Klopp signing anyway, and it was more a club signing with an eye to Jurgen Klopp. I don't know the truth behind it because I wasn't involved in any of those negotiations. Inglesy001 said tough game coming up against Everton, who are flying always, mate. I mean, the Merseyside derby, we've had a great run of it. They haven't beaten us in 10 years. They're going to go into this game flying high, full of confidence, 4 wins out of 4. But we've spoken about Liverpool's headaches around the goalkeeping department. Everton have their own headaches, and that's one thing that I will be saying if I was Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool players on the training ground. I mean, whatever about the talk that's going to come around Adrian, let's not forget that Jordan Pickford, he has a couple of howlers in him as well. So I'd be fully expecting our lads to test him, to be putting corners right in on top of him and seeing if we can unsettle Pickford early doors as well. Hex Boom said I'd like to see Bobby in a 4-2-3-1 playing behind an out-and-out striker. Firmino finished 70% of his chances. I bet he wouldn't have lost so many games we've done in the past. Well, you could say that about anyone, mate, to be fair. What have we got? Mr. P said Bobby's fine, people. Stop at the drama. I don't think it is drama. Again, to try and be fair and balanced in this conversation, I think that the people that are questioning what's going on, I can understand why they're raising the question. I still have belief in Bobby. He's still got my support 100%. And I'm glad that people are out there saying exactly what I was saying for a long time. But yeah, there does need to be a conversation, and it's okay to have it. It's also important that Bobby Firmino knows that we're behind him. That Liverpool fans believe in Bobby, we love Bobby, and that we want him to come back and, get back to his glorious best. That's okay as well. I don't want people out there on social media putting out negativity. This is like our little safe room, folks. This is where we come in to share our opinions and talk about it. And I like to think that, not what stays in here, but I like to think that people have an opportunity to express a different opinion in here and not be judged for it. That's the way I like to see it anyway. Don't underestimate Firmino. I don't think anybody is underestimating him, buddy, to be fair. Bobby ain't fine, said they call me Monty. Again, a different viewpoint, and I respect your opinion. John Shaw said it's not just Bobby's goals though. His assists have dried up too. His press isn't as successful as it was. He is in the decline overall, unfortunately. I love Bobby too, so I hate to criticise him. John, I'll be honest with you, mate. I don't have the assist statistics to hand, so I can't say one way or the other. Maybe you do, buddy. Maybe you've had a look at them and you have a bit more info on this than I do. But like you, I hate being critical of Bobby. Are you confident going into the derby? And also, can we stop Dominic Calvert-Lewin from scoring? He's had a great start to the season. He looks full of confidence under Carlo Ancelotti. Am I confident going into the derby? Yeah, I am. Because I still believe in this group of players. I mean, we didn't become crap. Do you know what I mean? We're still the champions. We're still, in my opinion, the best club in the world right now. We still have that beautiful gold badge. But it's going to be a difficult game, and it is an important game. And as I said the other night in the stream, I don't really think it's at a point where it's a must-win game, but I think it is a must-not-lose game. I'd hope that we can leave Merseyside or leave Goodison Park, in the Merseyside derby with 3 points. But it wouldn't be the end of the world if we got a point. But I want us to go and beat Everton. I really badly want us to do it. It would shut a lot of people up, and it would let people know that what happened to Villa was a once-off, and that the players will want to put it right. The manager will want to put it right. They'll be chomping at the bit waiting for this game. Eddie Hutchinson said I back Bobby 100%. Love it, Eddie. Well played, mate. Bobby's assist versus Chelsea, said Mr. Saya 2012. Alex is in from United. How are you, Alex? By the way, for those of you that don't know, Alex in the chat there, Alex United, he's the one that shared that clip that's got like 1.2 million views or something about the me slagging off United losing 6-1. So I suppose we should thank Alex a little bit for helping us out with that one. Any news about Upamecano? Yes, Jake, I'll touch on it again for those coming a little bit late before I finish up tonight. Let me just grab my notes up here 1 second. Right, so Upamecano. Where are my notes? Sorry, folks. Scrolling through. Right, on day Upamecano. Yes, as I said earlier on, now things change quickly in football and nothing is concrete, but I will go out on a limb and say that Liverpool are certainly interested in Upamecano. That 40 million quid release clause kicks in next summer. It's going to make him attractive to a whole lot of people. A report out with Germany suggests that Liverpool and United will be going head to head trying to sign Upamecano. And a few other bits and pieces I've read have given me true belief that yes, there is a genuine interest from Liverpool in Upamecano. Why wouldn't there be? 21 years of age, already got loads of experience, to be playing in the Champions League again. Makes sense on every front. It is a Liverpool-esque signing, particularly at that price point. So, yeah, I think there is genuine interest there. I'm not going to say we will sign him, but I do think we'll be in the conversation. Bobby, I don't know what that one he's trying to say, sorry. Getting mentioned by True Geordie as well. Not bad going, Craig, said Hex Boom. Yeah, and not getting slaughtered by True Geordie. That was the part that I was worried about. I mean, they could have easily torn me to shreds. And, you know, what could I have said other than took it on the chin? But, you know, I actually got complimented by True Geordie, which was nice at the end of it. He said I was very entertaining and... yeah, great. Hopefully I'll get on the kick-off one day. I mean, that's, you know, you guys know. I'd love to be on there and have a chat with True Geordie and Lawrence. Of course I would. Tony said, Craig, I think Bobby needs somebody to push him for his position, and he could have that now in Diogo Jota and Takumi Minamino, mate. So, you know, maybe he could have that. So yeah, hopefully you're right. Bobby has a wonderful smile. Yes, he does have a wonderful smile, mate, and I love Bobby Firmino as much as the next person. I hope we see Craig on the kickoff, said Hex Boom. I won't lie, I don't really talk too much about my hopes and aspirations here ever. But since day one, it has been a goal to get on the kick-off. I was lucky enough when I was over at the launch of La Liga TV in January, before all the madness started in the world. I bumped into Lawrence actually at the launch of La Liga TV. Now, he probably doesn't remember it and he probably doesn't know who the hell I am. But we did have a little chat with him. Connor got his picture with Lawrence because, you know, Connor's a massive fan of True Geordie and Lawrence as well. What a lovely guy, by the way, Lawrence was. It was lovely to have a chat with him. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. One of my big goals and hopes is to get on the kick-off someday because I genuinely feel like I'd get on with the lads on there. And you never know, someday. But most importantly, we've got our little community here, folks. And, you know, the fact that we're even getting these little mentions now just shows that you guys are doing good work because we do this stuff together. We succeed together, we fail together. We see the highs together and the lows together. I've said this from day one. This is a community on here. There is no me. There is no Connor. There is just an Anfield Agenda community. And the most important thing here, folks, is if you remember nothing else, just remember WFM. That's all you need to know. Alex United said, back off, lads. We need Upamecano instead of the fridge. 9! He's ours, mate. Sorry. You're going to have to just wait. Right, what else have we got? I think Bobby will become a big movie star. I've got a picture on my phone of Bobby and it's one of my favourite pictures of him ever. He's in a baseball cap. He's got like a fur mink type of coat on and he's got a pair of flip-flops or sandals or maybe the sliders on his feet. He just doesn't give a fuck. I love that about Bobby. Do you think Diogo will get more time than Firmino this year? I don't think he'll get more time than Bobby, no. But how great is it that we're able to have these conversations? You know what I mean? We're on here talking about Diogo Jota. We're talking about Takumi Minamino. And let's not forget, we still have Thiago to look forward to. We only got a brief glimpse of him against Chelsea. We got to see how silky he was. We still have Thiago. Thiago's a Liverpool player. Thiago's our number 6. I'm so excited to see this guy as well. I mean, it is bright times. Alex said, hashtag get Craig on the kickoff. Yeah, let's get that trending on social media. That's what we need, Alex. You did well with the other one, mate. Get that one trending. Darren Ross, how are you, my friend? Lovely to see you in. Said, greetings from Sydney, Australia. I had to work so hard there, mate, not to go, Australia. Sorry. I'm an awful human being. Love your show. Any news on Butland? Apologies if I already discussed it. It's grand, mate. I understand people drop in and out at different times. Your little recap there on Butland. Stoke City look as if they'd be open to the possibility of allowing Butland to join Liverpool before the domestic window closes next Friday. Football Insider also reported on this one that Liverpool are looking into the possibility of bringing Butland in to provide cover while Alisson is out. The report also says one of the reasons Stoke would be willing to entertain the idea is because it would get another high wage off their books. And yeah, it is important to think that maybe Butland's probably still on Premier League wages. Well, I'd imagine there was probably a clause in the contract for if they went down, but I'd imagine he's still on very high wages in relation to some other people in that Stoke squad. So nothing concrete that I've seen, mate, in the media, but you know, there's still a chance there. Well, that window's open till next Friday, and thank you so much for coming in. We've actually got a few people that watch us from Australia. Obviously Rod, Frank, and a few others as well. So to all of you watching, thank you. Love the top, said ASMR Fatso. Thank you, buddy. A lot of people ask me about this top actually, and think that I don't know, pulled it out my backside or something. It's the European warm up jersey. Is that the right phrase for it? It's basically the pre-match shirt for the European jerseys, and I think the pattern on this is supposed to be the underneath of an Air Max. And I've been looking at, you know, myself and my missus love Nike Air Max, and we have a few pairs of them, so I was looking, trying to match it up, but from what I can gather anyway, the pattern on the shirt is supposed to be taken from the underneath of an Air Max. But yeah, I love it as well, mate. It's class. Any news about Mane and Thiago? No, buddy, no, nothing yet. Obviously we know where they're both out. You would assume that Thiago would be back first because he was the first one that we'd heard the news of, so he would obviously have to have that isolation period as per government guidelines and stuff. But no, nothing new, buddy. How are you doing, Craig? Said Ronak. I'm doing really well. Look, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question right now. It's a quiet enough stream tonight, so I'm enjoying myself. I had planned on finishing up, but if you guys want, I can carry on for another 10 or 15 minutes. Just let me know with a thumbs up in the chat if you have any more questions you want me to carry on, or just tell me to go to bed if you're finished and you don't want to do any more tonight. Yeah, I'm having fun. I always enjoy coming on and chatting with you wonderful people. I've gone through all of my notes right now, so give me a thumbs up if you want me to stay on, or give me a thumbs down if you want me to just piss off and go to bed. What's my surname? Why you ask, sir? Why you ask? It's Holden, mate. My surname's Holden. Watch your videos as well from Virginia, USA, says Mohad Mohammed. Mate, it's mental to think where people watch from, and thank you for watching, buddy. It's lovely to have you with us. Yes, we'll carry on. Good. Well played, folks. Well played. How many crayons does Jordan Henderson eat for his tea? It's a question I've never been asked before. I mean, I'm quite partial to a green crayon myself. I can't speak for Jordan Henderson. I've always found green to be the nicest flavour of crayon if I'm chewing on them. But I don't know, mate. This may be a question you'd have to ask El Capitan yourself. What do I think on Butland? I think it's worth taking the risk, Ronak. Whether it be Butland, whether it be Foster, whether it be somebody else, Tim Krul maybe. I can understand why people are calling for it. I don't like to be critical of a Liverpool player, but Adrian's going to make us all a whole lot nervous. And whatever we think as fans, I'm more concerned about the impact it may have on the concentration levels of the back four, and on the belief in the back four. So it's a shitty situation, and there hasn't been many negatives around Liverpool over the past couple of years, but yeah, unfortunately a light has been shown on the backup goalkeeping situation here. We're in a scenario that we don't want to find ourselves in. Upamecano, Sarr and Pope would complete this side, said KSI. Obviously not the real KSI. The backup goalkeeper thing, I mean, look, the three players that you've named there, mate, are sound. I would rather we went out and got Daka, if I'm being honest now, rather than Sarr. We've got Diogo Jota and Takumi Minamino, so I would like somebody, again, who can be versatile, play across the front three, and is a bit more polished at this moment in time than Sarr. And I'd say we may even get him a bit cheaper as well. Craig, what level of goalkeeper were you? Quite a high level. There's the answer. Didn't make it because I wasn't good enough at the end of the day, but I did play at the highest underage levels. Did I hear Arsenal fans saying Arteta broke Klopp on the terrace? No, I haven't, to be fair. Yeah, I don't know. Let them say what they want. I hope Hendo's 100% for the Everton match. He's always a massive miss, said Hex Boom. Yeah, Hendo's one of those players that you don't realise how much you miss him till he's not there. And, you know, I said it before and I'll say it again. That result against Aston Villa does not happen with Jordan Henderson on the pitch. Now, I don't mean we don't lose the game, because Villa deserved to win the game on the day. No arguments there. I just mean the capitulation I don't see happening under Jordan Henderson, having him on the field. I still stand over that to this day. Do I prefer Nike or New Balance in regards to the Liverpool stuff? Well, I was a massive fan of what New Balance did. I love the blackout shirt idea. I love the trainers that they put out there. I thought that they produced some great home shirts as well. And it's a bit early to be judging Nike, obviously. I love the home shirt. Fan of the away shirt. Don't like the third shirt. I think the goalkeeper shirt's a bit dull, the black one. I think the price of some of the Nike stuff is a bit over the top, if I'm being honest. I mean, 120 quid for a hoodie, that's a bit too much for anyone's money. But, you know, let's just keep an eye on it, because it's our first season with Nike and we want it to go well. How did Arteta break Klopp? They lost comfortably in the match that mattered. I know, mate, but, you know, opposition fans at times will say whatever makes themselves feel better. Like, if you're using common sense, why should United fans get to come in and say that we lost 7-2 to Villa and laud that over us when they had their asses handed to them by Spurs? It doesn't make any sense, but it makes them feel better. Now, us as rational Liverpool fans will look at this and go, alright, we had our asses handed to us by Villa, fair enough, but we're still in a far better shape than United are, and you guys would swap where we are in a heartbeat. But that rationale seems to go out the window when people get emotional about football. Hence, sometimes why I think the level of abuse that goes towards players and people sometimes goes over the top. When do you think Minamino is going to reach his full potential? When he hits his peak. I don't mean to give a shitty answer, but probably around the ages of 26 to 28, 27 to 29, something around that. But he's only going to get better. That's one thing I will say. And that price we paid for him is like robbery. 7.25 million quid. Mr. Sowersby said, Craig, big up yourself for the Graham Hunter interview. Thank you. I'm so glad you said that. Graham Hunter is my icon. Graham Hunter is the reason that I started making content. I've been lucky enough to interview Graham Hunter now on, I think, 3 occasions. And I'm lucky enough to be able to call Graham Hunter a friend now, which is more than I ever would have hoped for. And I mean that sincerely. We keep in contact on WhatsApp and stuff. I met him again at that La Liga TV launch, and it was a pleasure. And Graham's been very good to us in coming on and having chats with us. He spoke to us about Thiago after that transfer. If you haven't had a chance to watch that interview, go back a few weeks and have a look at it. We've interviewed Graham Hunter on the channel. We've interviewed Guillaume Balaguer. And we've had some good interviews. James Pearce on a couple of times as well. And there's some more stuff coming up in the next few weeks, folks. So, again, thank you, mate, for that. It's very difficult because, you know, I do this show and I do it on my own. And when I say I do it on my own, I mean, it's me and a microphone and a camera. Connor does all the hard work and, you know, I get the glory. He does all the you know, messy stuff, and he should get way more credit than I get. But to interview somebody is a completely different thing, and something that I never thought I would do. So to be able to have these interviews with Graham Hunter and stuff, it gives me a bit more confidence, because it allows me to you know, hone my skills, if you want to say that, with doing this type of stuff. And again, I never thought I'd be in a position to be having conversations with the likes of Graham Hunter and stuff. So it's a pleasure, and I'm just, as I keep saying to everybody, I'm going to blag this shit until I can't blag it anymore. Do you know what I mean? I don't think too highly of myself. I don't know why people watch every week. I don't know why the numbers have grown to how they are. But I've always said, I don't know why people watch, but I'm extremely grateful that they do. And yeah, I'm in a very good place at the minute. My life's going really well. My family are healthy. I have a wonderful family life, as you guys know. I've come back from a very, very low point in my life 4 to 6 weeks ago to be where I am now, which is feeling better than I felt in 10 years, maybe. And I go around each day now with a smile on my face, and I look forward to 8:30 when I get to come on here and talk with you guys. And it was lovely last night to be able to spend a few minutes at the end of the stream talking about mental health and stuff as well, because I think during times that we're going through right now, that's very important as well, that people feel they can speak up if they're going through a hard time, and it's okay to ask for help, because we'll all struggle. There'll be, you know, people will be having feelings right now that they've never experienced before, and I just want those people, particularly younger people, to know that, you know, speak up, ask for help. It's alright. It doesn't mean you're weak. It just means that you're struggling. And I've had many, many helping hands from people, and I expect to have many, many more. And if you are one of those people that are going through a tough time right now, then, you know, you're not on your own. Just speak up, and a problem shared is a problem halved, and all that. That's all I want to say on it. When Klopp leaves Liverpool, who do you want to take over as manager? It's such a tough one because if we work off 2024 and, he may extend beyond that, you don't know how people's careers will have progressed. So Pep Linders will be in the conversation, of course. I would have said Pochettino if he ends up taking over at United, then obviously that won't be the case. Julian Nagelsmann, you can't forget about him as well. And there are some other good young coaches coming through. Who knows how far Jesse Marsch's career might go after Salzburg as well. Very good style of football that he plays there. But I do like the more I've warmed to the idea of maybe Linders succeeding. But also I know people are going to be screaming about Steven Gerrard as well. And of course we all want Steven Gerrard to take the reins at Liverpool one day. But it has to be because he's earned them. And I don't know that he's earned them just yet, to be honest with you. I don't think managing Rangers will prepare him for coming in to manage Liverpool. But thank you for the super chat, Red Skillet, mate. Really appreciate it as always. Those little bits and pieces mean the world to us. In-Gear Driving School said, because you're brilliant. I'm not, mate. I really amn't. I mean, I've got no special talents whatsoever. I'm not a professional in any sense of the word. I curse too much. I probably mutter a little bit too much and do some stupid cheesy shit at times. But what I can promise you is what you see on here is me. That's all I can say. I want Nagelsmann or even Pep Linders. We need a centre-back, said KSI. I don't know. I think the gamble is worth it. I've said it a few times, mate. I think the gamble that Klopp was taking to not go out and get a centre-back in this window will be worth it if we address it next summer and get the likes of Upamecano, because we've got so many central midfielders right now. Hendo, Thiago, Fabinho, Milner, Naby Keita. Who else am I forgetting about here as well in central midfield? Grujic has gone out on loan. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to come back from injury. We've got... I always forget one big name when I'm going to our fucking midfielders. Wijnaldum, of course. So many options. 6, 7, 8 midfielders there, central midfielders. So for Klopp to look at it and think there may be occasions where I could get away with playing Fabinho alongside Virgil van Dijk and putting Thiago in the 6, I can understand that risk if it means that it's a short-term thing looking ahead to get the player that he really wants. Because one thing we know about Jurgen Klopp is he doesn't settle. He goes after the players that he wants and he doesn't settle for those that aren't good enough. So that's my take on it anyway. Top bloke, it takes balls to talk about mental health, needs bringing into normal world stuff. It absolutely does, Bob. I've been somebody that's been an advocate for speaking up about mental health for a very long time because I've never felt ashamed of it. Why should I? I have so many problems, mate, as do other people. I don't leave the house. I've spoken about that before. I've left the house 3 times since March. I suffer with terrible anxiety disorders. This is my release. This is what makes me smile, and this is what's given me the confidence to grow into the person that I am. So each and every one of you guys out there that have watched and shared this video and dropped a like and stuff, you have helped me more than you'll ever know, and I've said that time again. So if that provides any glimmer of hope or inspiration to somebody else, brilliant. I'm happy. I'll take credit for that, and I don't take credit for much things because, as I said, I don't have any special skill set. Nor am I a professional, so I would always urge somebody to talk to a family member or talk to a teacher or talk to your GP. But mental health does need to be brought into the everyday conversations in life, mate. You're right, because I think we all know somebody that has suffered with mental health. I mean, I'll go a little bit step further, and I'm sorry to take this to a dark place, but yesterday was my dad's birthday. My dad died 18 years ago. My dad drank himself to death. My dad was my best friend. My dad was my hero. And my life started to fall apart after he died. My mother committed suicide and took her own life, unfortunately, as well. I'm an only child, so I've never had any siblings to share that with, and I've just been very fortunate that I've had a good lady wife and 2 amazing kids and great in-laws that have provided support to me through these tough times. And I never thought I'd dig my way back up out of that hole, but if you'll allow me just to go on for a couple of minutes here, this is how it started. If you ever wondered how Anfield Agenda came to be, it came to be from me being in a really, really bad place. And I joined social media just to start to get to know Liverpool Twitter a little bit, because I thought, hey, look, let's go on and see if you can join Twitter and interact with Liverpool fans and maybe, you know, make a couple of mates. So I started out on Twitter, and I didn't use my real name. I used a fake name at the time. Cop Jaffer was the name that I used back in the day. And And then the opportunity came up to write some articles for Anfield Index. I'm sure you guys are aware of Anfield Index. Gags and Nina and the gang over there put out great stuff. So I had an opportunity to write some articles for Anfield Index. Again, I did so under the fake name Cop Jaffer. That then led to an opportunity presenting itself to become a guest on one of their podcasts. So Anfield Index used to do the Writers podcast. So I put the articles out there, and my first one, I fully expected people to come back and say to me, "My God, mate, what are you on about? Fuck off." But it was okay. I mean, my grammar is terrible, but what I put out there, people weren't too bad with. They were okay about me talking about Liverpool, and I felt confident enough to speak about it because, as I said, I've been involved in football my entire life. So that went to me being able to go on the podcast, and I went on the first podcast, and this is no word of a lie. I've said this to people before. Nina might even be able to back this up if she ever sees this, because Nina was producing the first podcast. I threw up. I threw up in the bathroom before I did the first podcast because I was so nervous. So I did the podcast, and that led to a couple more podcasts, and I started to get the taste for it, and I thought, okay, confidence grew a little bit. I thought I'll use my real name now. So we started our own podcast then, and I used my own name, and podcasts had some ups and some downs. Some people joined and left and went to other podcasts, and some fallouts, and I was in a bad place, and shit happened. I fell out with some people, there was some ill feeling, and it all came from a bad place. So then Connor came along, and we started Anfield Agenda, and I'm kind of glossing over a few things here, it's a long story. And Connor said, "Let's go onto YouTube." And I said, "Buddy, I'm 30, I think I was 37 at the time. I'm too old to be going onto YouTube. Who the fuck wants to listen to me on YouTube?" So we did our first YouTube video, and it felt natural, and I loved it, because when you put a podcast out there, you throw a podcast out into the world, and you hope that people like what you have to say, or at least don't hate what you have to say, but you don't really know what the story is. So we did our first YouTube stream, and I'd never watched YouTube from a footballing perspective before, so I'd never seen the United stand, I'd never seen True Geordie, because that wasn't my background. I wasn't somebody that watched YouTube, so I didn't know what you were supposed to do. So I came into the first stream, and a couple of people came into the chat, and I just started chatting with them. I just started talking with their comments, going back and forth. And then people started to watch because it was different. People came in and they're like, "Oh, this guy actually responds." But I didn't know that people didn't. I didn't know that a lot of YouTube content was pre-recorded, or that some people don't interact. To me, interaction always felt normal. And as that interaction grew and people started to subscribe and watch more, and my confidence grew. And as my confidence grew, my home life became better. And as my home life became better, the problems that I had didn't seem as unsurmountable or insurmountable as they once did. And through that and a lot of therapy and psychology and medication, and we get to where we are here right now. And even that video where I said goodbye on the channel, people say to me, "Why do you leave that up? Like, why don't you take that down? It's embarrassing." No, I refuse to take it down because I'm not ashamed of it. That was me in a bad place, and it's important that people see that you can be in a bad place and you can come back from it. Nothing has to be definitive. Nothing has to define your life. There is many avenues and ways back. So I left the video up. To be fair, 99% of people have been extremely kind, and you always get some people that want to take cheap shots, but that's par for the course of what I do. So again, I just want to, sorry for that long-winded story there, but it's just been a mad run. It's just been a fucking mad run, and I can't believe that stuff with Villa thing has been seen by over 12 million people. I can't believe Anfield Agenda has grown to where it has. I can't believe we've had record month after record month, and I'll be forever grateful for it. I'll be forever grateful for the day I met Connor, and I'll be forever thankful to you guys. So look, again, I don't mean to go off on these tangents, but I'm going to end it there because I'm starting to get a bit totes emosh here, ladies and gents. But look, thank you again, and look, I look forward to coming on tomorrow, and we'll talk about the Reds, and we'll get back looking ahead to the game against Everton. So look, hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed the stream, drop a like on the video as always, and massive love and respect to each and every one of you, and hold your heads up high, and look, we're the champions, don't ever forget that, and I'll see you fantastic people tomorrow. Up the Reds, and love to you all.